It's now officially 2024, and with that we also approach the next Godzilla project, more precisely the next MonsterVerse project, Godzilla X Kong, The New Empire. But how well will this movie do at the box office? That's what we're looking at today. To get an estimation on how much Godzilla X Kong will do at the box office, we obviously have to take a look at what other movies are releasing in that time period and also what the general perception of the movie is so far. So let's start off with the movies. So Godzilla X Kong releases on the 12th of April, and some movies which release before Godzilla X Kong would for example be Dune Part 2, which hits theaters on the 1st of March and is also produced by Legendary and Warner Brothers. Of course, there is a big difference between the release dates of these two movies, so I don't think Dune Part 2 will play in that many theaters when Godzilla X Kong finally releases, but you know, it still will be played probably in the bigger theaters, so it's still kind of a contender at the box office. Kung Fu Panda releases 1 week after Dune Part 2, and I'm pretty sure it will be a box office success. And again, there is quite a big difference between the release date of these two movies, but pretty much just as Dune Part 2, it will still play in the bigger theaters. Now, probably the biggest rival or contender at the box office for Godzilla X Kong will be Ghostbusters: The Frozen Empire. And then after Godzilla X Kong, I think it's a 2-week difference, the A24 movie Civil War releases. I don't think Civil War will do too much at the box office. It will still be a success, but I don't think they have too high expectations considering that they have only a 50 million budget. So it's gonna do around 300 million, which is still good. Now, even though Godzilla X Kong will have some quite tough competition, there is no movie releasing only 1 week before or after Godzilla X Kong, and especially no movie releasing in the same week as Godzilla X Kong. So even though they have tough movies such as Dune 2, Kung Fu Panda, Ghostbusters of course, and Civil War, I still think they're gonna do great at the box office, perhaps not as good as the first Godzilla in the MonsterVerse or as Kong Skull Island, but they still do well considering that in that week when they release, they're the only movie to rule the cinemas. So yeah, I think they're gonna do around 500 million. Slightly less than, again, as I said, Godzilla 2014 and Kong Skull Island, but still not a flop that is as hard as Godzilla King of the Monsters, which King of the Monsters got its money back, but they still kind of flopped and had higher expectations for the movie. Yeah, 500 million is perfectly fine. If the movie kind of flops, perhaps it's not going to be necessarily a bad thing, however, because they might see that they need to change the direction and perhaps go less over the top, less wanting to put more and more, which is a issue many people have with the trailers. I personally had this issue too. I'm still gonna check out the movie, of course, but yeah, I'm working on a video which proves my point and shows how -1 did better at that, and that's releasing very soon, so stay tuned for that. And yeah, that's pretty much it for the video. It's difficult to get a precise estimation. I think the hype for Godzilla X Kong will also grow just before it releases. So yeah, 500 million. Definitely a success, but not too high. So yeah, that's it. Stay tuned for my next video and see ya soon.